What's going on, guys? We're doing a cool build today. We're doing the Palmetto Dagger with the TLR7A inside the waistband in the grungy style American flag print. This is going to be on the back side of the holster because we're going to have a clip down the front. It's going to look better on the back in my opinion. But anyways, let's get into it. Let's put you on the workbench. Let's get right into this. Today we are using a Black Flag Manufacturing Dagger mold. Now you might notice this is just for the Dagger. It doesn't have the TLR7 on there, but we got a little secret for that. If you're on a budget or want to save some money, trying to do a holster yourself, and you want to buy one mold, let's say you start carrying the Dagger, and you make a holster for that. Well, down the road you buy a TLR7 or any other light. If you can find a mold for your light, what you do is basically split it in half, put those there, block that out, and make it. And that's what we're going to do today. That's how I've been doing it for a while now. Rather than buying a dozen molds for one pistol, this tends to save quite a bit of money. Helps me out. Keeps the cost low for you guys. And I'm all about that. Alright, first thing we want to do is really just kind of eyeball this. Make sure that this lines up in the same spot. That looks good there. Okay, now the other side. Okay, let's get this thing blocked. Got these pieces set aside specifically for this. Now on the TLR7, I like to put the retention right about there. You can also put it down here. I've done that as well on some jobs. You don't want to put the retention too deep right here because you do have this screw. So I like to put it right up on the upper edge. Otherwise, if it's too deep, that screw can grab onto that retention point into the holster, making a snag point. We don't want that. So from here, get things taped in place. Another thing you want to remember to do on a vacuum mold like this is fill in your voids with some wood or some other sort of blocking, because if you don't, see how my finger can slip in here? The kydex is going to do the same thing, and it ain't going to work right. Alright, onto this side. Now be sure when you're blocking for these lights, I don't like to have two retention points. If I put this too far back, that's going to give me another little retention point here. It makes for awkward retention in my opinion. So I like to scoot this forward more, covering that second potential retention point. Alright, let's give this thing a double once over. I think that's going to be perfect. Typically I use a different aluminum stock here for the retention on the TLR7s, but I think this is going to work out better. But we're going to find out. We can always make fine-tune adjustments after we form it. But I do want to add a potential second clip mounting. The first one's going to go right there. The second one would go here. I don't think he wants a second clip, but I like to be able to add that feature down the road. That way it's not a new holster. Same one. The vacuum table just needs prepped. I do get a lot of questions on my vacuum table here. If you guys want to see a separate video on that, let me know. It's pretty simple. You can't just overthink these things. Sometimes simple is better. And again, we are doing this in the American flag grunge style flag. It's going to go just about like that. That way when you pick it up, you're looking at the back side of the holster, it's going to be just like that. Alright. Again, I don't like to put it in the front. Otherwise the clips are in front. Which doesn't look bad. I mean, it's alright. But you get the full picture on the back. So we're gonna get this in the t-shirt press here. What I am gonna do, since I sublimated this, I'm gonna oil this with just some gun oil. Wipe it off real good. There is some white residue left over. That's from the paper when you peel it off. Now the downside to doing this is when you take it out of the t-shirt press, it smokes a lot. In the press it goes. My t-shirt press is at 382 degrees for about 91 seconds. That's what I find best for me. As it comes out at about 370-ish, low 370s. Any hotter than that, and you're gonna start scorching that kydex. Safety, always first. All right, as you can see, like I said, it's smoking like a son of a gun. But make sure our image is lined up all right. I want to try to center it as much as I can. Let's see if this will work. So my kydex was scooted over a little bit too far. I was trying to square up that image and it didn't want to seal on this side, which is okay. I just popped it back in. I could have just slid it back over and hit it again with the vacuum, but again, I want to make sure this gets good definition because we really need to hit that retention point right there. But since this is out and I forgot to do it beforehand, what I'm going to do is actually oil up some of these areas so that way this comes out of the mold. Probably just like that. That should be good. Maybe one right there. Yep. There we go. So I'm going to push on this retention point. I want to make sure that kydex sucks in there as best as possible. Hit it with some air. Give it a couple love taps. That came out pretty dang cool, if I do say so myself. Pretty good color on that guy. Not too shabby. So again, this is why I like to oil the blocking. It's probably still gonna be a pain to get out, but it's part of the game. Now, if I were to buy these molds in like one piece, this would be a little bit faster, a little bit easier to get out. But still works. So I'm going to run it this way for now. I'm going to be honest, guys. Now that I'm looking at this, it's kind of backwards. So what I did was flip the image when I didn't have to. But I think what I'm going to do is something totally different at this point. I think I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do a double flag. Unless I can stretch the flag across the whole thing, that would look kind of cool as well. I'm going to redo it, but let me know in the comments. Do you guys like this, or do you guys want the double? I'm going to do the double, because I'm not going to wait for your decision, because I'm not going to post this video just to wait for the whole order. Anyways, I'm going to go redo that, and then repress this. Not a big deal. Maybe I'll discount this if you guys have a Palmetto with a TLR7 and you like this. Go ahead and let me know, because I could finish this and just ship it out to you. For a fee, of course. Alrighty, we have a new piece of kydex heating up at the moment. About 30 seconds left on that guy. We did a different image on it. It's still American flag. It's bigger. It's going to look huge on the image, but it's going to look perfect when it's on a small holster. So we got about 10 seconds left. We're going to pop this guy out and you are going to see the new image. Did it on tan kydex this time versus the gray. Still looks pretty good. Couple love taps. Look at that. That came out pretty good. In case you're wondering, these light molds, they come in one piece. And what I do is I split them in half for this purpose. These are actually available at holstersmith.com. And they are, I believe, made by Holstersmith. But they work perfect for this, so if you need some, that's where you get them. Again, this mold is a Black Flag manufacturing. I'm really happy with their molds. They're pretty good quality. Mold with the light to start tracing this guy out. I don't have a trim jig for this setup, but that is okay because this works just as good, just takes a bit longer. Looking pretty good. Next, we're going to take this over to the bandsaw, get this all cut up. So a flat holster does this no good. It's not going to be a holster at all. So now we got to heat up the middle of this, fold it over, and then it starts becoming a holster. Alright, so now we have this clamped in over the mold. We're going to put some compressed air along the sight channel, cool this thing off so we can get to working on it. I threw 2 layers of tape over top of the mold. That way we have some clearance, maybe I should say instead, between the actual finish of the firearm and the holster to prevent premature wear. Yep, that's pretty good. It's going to turn out great. Okay, okay, a couple more cuts to make. You know what? I'm going to actually trim this. It's a little long still. Alrighty, let's finish this thing up. It looks really good. It's all cut up, buffered up, no sharp edges. Looks clean. Now we need to add some retention screws and put on a clip and maybe drill holes for a potential second clip in the future. Right about there. Then we'll put a third one right there. Three bushings, 3 female posts, 3 screws. Okay. Now, we are not putting a claw on this, but I like to do this because if he changes his mind in the future, I don't have to make a new holster. Saves me time, saves him money. Plus, having to buy another holster is just kind of silly in my opinion. For something simple as a claw. This is my only Black Flag manufacturing mold, so I'm still getting used to the retention. It is not quite 1/4 inch, which is fine. Just gotta trim these bushings up a little bit. So trade these 1/4 inch ones out for some 3/8, or sorry, 3/16. Excuse me. Those there, these are 1/2 inch. We're going to trade those out for also 3/8. And let's try this again. Take our little internal deburrer tool. There is a height difference between this clip and that clip. So with that being said, we're also going to add in a taller bushing. Just take one of my little 1/4 inch retention bushings, cut it in half. There we have it, guys. All finished up, looking great. If you guys ever need a holster, you know where to go. righteousresponse.com, custom made, made to order. Any print, any design, custom jobs, we do it all. Chest rigs, inside the waistband, outside the waistband, battle belt rigs, we do it. righteousresponse.com, hit it up. And if you are anywhere near Eastern Washington, again, go to the same website because we will be offering firearm training here very soon. Everything from grappling for the everyday carrier and basic knowledge on gun safety. Hit it up, righteousresponse.com. Guys, I appreciate the business, appreciate the support, and again, thanks for watching.